Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be building out Linktree, but it's not going to be this page that you're seeing. It is going to be the internal page once you log into your account. So we're going to be building something similar to this, where you can add in your links and then they're going to display here, and then you can upload your profile image, you can add in your name, and then you can change your bio. So the app that we're going to be building is going to be similar to this. So for example, you can add in your name here, your first name, and you can see as I type in, then it also fills out here. And then you can also add in another name. You can add in your bio, so something about myself. And once again, as I type in, you can see that it fills up on the right. And then you can add in links to your social media. So let's add a few. So YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Okay. And then once you add in your social links, you can scroll down a bit and you can see we have a couple of templates. To begin with, the default one is this blank white canvas that we have. But if you don't like this one, then you can select from the templates that we have inside here. We're going to create them so that if you want to create even more templates, then you are going to have the general idea of how to do it. So you can select this image, for example, and it's going to display on our mobile phone here. And if you feel like this is not looking so good, then you can go ahead and select another image or another image until you get the one that you're satisfied with. And once again, this is just all from my own templates, just a couple of images that I downloaded from the internet. And my personal favorite is this one right here. And then before you can take a look at our profile, then we need to upload a profile image. So I'm going to go ahead and choose an image here, and I'm just going to select this one, and then I'm going to upload it. And when I click on upload, it's going to take a while to upload to our Cloudinary account. And then once it uploads, then it's going to appear right here. Would you look at that? Looking nice, nice, nice. So we're also going to be using Cloudinary so that we can host our images once we upload them. And then once you're satisfied with everything, then you can click on view profile, and it's going to take you to a bigger page which shows you how your Linktree profile is going to look like for other people. And when you take a look at this and you feel like you're not satisfied completely with how it looks, then you can go back and edit. And then, for example, you can select another image such as this one, and then you can view profile and it is going to update accordingly. So it is a very good project. It has some bits of functionality which are very interesting to me. And we're going to be using Cloudinary, just as I've mentioned, to upload our images, our profile images. And we're going to use NextJs to build this out. So right away to begin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a command prompt, a terminal window here, and then I'm going to cd into my desktop and then into a folder that is called YT videos. And then I'm going to create a new Next.js application. So I'm going to say npx create next app, and I'm going to call it iRecreate Linktree. And then I'm going to let this run. And I should mention that I'm using Next.js version 13. That is why we're going to have a bit of options here. So we are not going to be using TypeScript, so no. And then we want ESLint, yes. We want the source directory. We don't want the app directory. And the imports can be used as follows. So Next.js version 13 introduced all these options that you can select. So if you don't have these options, then you should probably upgrade to the latest version of Next.js, and you can check how to upgrade on their documentation website. So I'm going to let this run, and then once it finishes, then we are going to begin. And so once it finishes, then I want to navigate into the newly created folder. So I'm going to say code iRecreate Linktree, which is going to open up an instance of Visual Studio Code into this folder that has just been created here. And once this opens up, you can see that we have our folders created inside here. We have the source folder, and then we have the pages folder, and then we have the styles folder. So right away, I want to install Tailwind CSS because we're going to be using Tailwind CSS for this project. So I'm going to open up my terminal using Ctrl and J. And then I'm going to take a break because my computer has started its issues. So it has been about 12 hours and now we can continue. So we were going to install Tailwind CSS. So let's go into the Tailwind CSS website. So Tailwind CSS, and then we are going to install it into our Next.js application. So let's go into framework guides and then Next.js, and then let's begin with this one. So copy and paste, and then copy, and then let this run. And then once it runs, we can paste in this second one, which is going to create our Tailwind config file. And then because we are using the source folder here, the source directory, so we're going to use this one instead of these three on top. And then we're going to say into our Tailwind config.js, we're going to paste it inside here and then save it. And then we're going to copy this and paste it inside our global CSS. So inside the source folder, inside the styles folder, and inside the globals.css, we're going to remove everything inside here. Just select everything, and then we're going to paste in our Tailwind utilities. And then finally, we can begin to start our dev server. But before we begin, I want to go into fonts.google.com, and then I want to get the font that we're going to be using, and the font is called Inter. So let me go ahead and, why is this taking so long? Okay, so I have Inter here. I don't need this font, so remove. So the Inter font is here. I'm using the regular 400 and the semi-bold 600 font weights. So you can go ahead and search for Inter here, for example, and then you can select this one, and then just select the regular 400 and the semi-bold 600, and then we're going to use the import tab here. So copy and then paste it below this. And then once you have that, then what I'm going to do is I want everything to have a font family of Inter, and then we're going to have a fallback of sans serif. And then I think we can save that. Oh, you know what, before we save it, let's give the body a background color. So I'm going to say add apply, and I'm going to say bg slate 100. So just give it a very slight background color, or you can say bg gray. I think they're going to work the same way anyways. So we can save it, and then we can go ahead and begin to run our dev server. So I'm going to say npm run dev, which is going to start our dev server on localhost 3000. So if I navigate into localhost 3000, not 30, really, localhost 3000, once this opens up right there, then we should be able to see our Next.js application, and then we can close this part and we can begin to work with everything. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to delete this file. So the home module CSS, we're not going to use this file, so just delete it. And then inside the source folder, we are going to create a new folder called components. So components, and then we are going to go inside the pages folder, and then inside the index.js, because it still has the default that is created by Next.js. So we're going to remove this main element. So all the way up to the bottom here, we're going to remove it. And then for our document title, we're going to rename this, and I'm just going to say Linktree clone. Or you know what, let me say I recreate Linktree, because I want to begin a new playlist that is called I recreate on my YouTube channel. So inside here, we don't need this. We can remove this. We can remove this. I think this one as well. And then what we need to do now is we need to create a component. And so the components that we're going to create, we're going to have a form here. We're going to create this form all the way up to here, up to the links. And then the templates are going to be in a different component. And then we're also going to create a component for this mobile phone that you're seeing. So what we're going to do therefore is, let me just see if I can structure this well. So inside our components folder, let's create a new file called form.js. And Next.js doesn't really it doesn't really punish you for naming your components in small letters. I mean, at least so far, I don't think it does punish you. But what it does ensure is that when you're creating your application, then the component always has to be capital inside here. So the name of your file can be small letter, but inside your component has to be capital. So far, that is what I can gather from Next.js. So once we have this, then what we're going to do is we're going to create our form input. So let me create a div, which is going to be the container for the entire form. And then the first thing that we're going to create is the image upload. So the image upload is going to be this input, and then we're going to give in this button. And in order to do that, by the way, we are going to have to separate this component into a separate component, because this is going to be a form on its own. So this is going to be a form on its own, and then begin first name and last name, they're going to be, and it's going to be another form. So inside here, we're going to be rendering our image upload. And then below this, we're going to have another form here. And the form is going to be an input with the type of text. And what I'm thinking is I don't want to separate first name and last name like I've done here, because it becomes a bit cumbersome. So I'm just going to put name, and then you can type in your first name and then your last name. So here I'm going to give the name a name of name, and then the ID is going to be name. And then do I want to set it to required? I don't think so. Let's give it a placeholder here that says enter your name. And then let's grab this input, and then we're going to place it inside an article, because I want to have a label inside here, and the label is going to be for name, and the label is going to say enter your name. And then we're going to save this, and then if you take a look, then we need to first of all display it inside here. So let's create a div with a class of container here, and then with an mx of auto. And then inside here, we can display our form that is coming from components form. Now notice how the import here starts with @ and not /. That is because when we were creating our Next.js application, we said the import alias should be this one. So take note of that, take note of that. And I think we can close this now. I think I just wanted to show that. So let's close this. And then now let me go ahead and save this so that this stops breaking. And then we should be able to see module not found style CSS. Oh, there we go. So enter your name. And then you can see that it is already limited. It doesn't go all the way to the end. Like you can zoom out and it doesn't go to the end. That is because of the class of container that we have placed. Where is it? Here. So the class of container. So it just limits everything. And then let's add a padding on the Y of 10, and then for large screens, let's say padding Y of 20. And then let's give it a padding on the X of 8, so that on mobile screens, then it's not going to go all the way to the end, like so. Why isn't our font applying? No, our font is not applying. Is it because this has to come first? Let's see. Okay, there we go. So the import has to come first so that the font applies. Now we can place this to the left. And then what I want to do is I want to style all the labels that we're going to have. So all the labels, I'm going to say text, I'm going to say @apply. So using payment, and we're going to say @apply text. I'm thinking of using yellow, even though I used purple for our demonstration here. I'm thinking of using yellow or amber. Let me say text amber 600, and then font bold. How does that look? Okay, that looks ugly. Let's take it back to purple. Let's just use purple because that is what I used. And then we're going to say that for the labels, all the labels are going to be block elements so that they begin on their own line. And then I'm just going to say text small, and then for large screens, then the text is going to go back to base. So for mobile screens, then the text is going to be small like this, and that looks okay. And then let's give it a margin bottom of 2 just to push away from the input just a bit. And then let's tell on all the inputs that we're going to have, and I'm going to say @apply, and we're going to say padding Y of 3 and padding X of 2. How does that look? Okay, and then let's give it a slight rounded border, so rounded with a very slight box shadow. Why not? Wait, how did I style this? Well, these are transparent. They're transparent. So instead of having the box shadow here, let's have a bg-transparent, and then let's have a border, and then the border color is going to be purple -600. I think 600. and then the placeholder text. So placeholder, we're going to say purple dash 600, or you know what, let me say 400, so that the text is going to be purple dash 600, meaning the text when you type in. So inside here, and let me see, that looks fine. Let's remove this outline. So for the outline, we're going to say this, oops, we're going to say outline dash none. And then when I hover, sorry, not when I hover, but when I focus on the input, then I want a ring of 4. And then on focus, I want a ring of purple dash 200. Meaning when I focus on this, look at the ring that is going to form right there. A very slight ring. Probably make this 300 so that it's a bit more visible. Yeah, so that we're going to have this. So that is the focus. That looks nice. That looks nice. And then all the inputs are going to have a width of full so that they stretch out all the way to the end. And yeah, that does look nice. Does look nice. Anything else we can do? I think let's have it at that. And then let's continue to create our form. So we have an article here. We're going to have another article with a label that goes into what? Let's make this full screen now. So we need the bio. The bio is now no longer an input, it is a text area. So here we're going to have a label for bio, and then we're going to say bio, and then we're going to have a text area with a name of bio so that it links to this label with an ID of bio as well. The columns can be 30, but the rows I want to reduce them to about 5 maybe. And then the placeholder here, so placeholder is going to be tell us something about yourself. And then what else do we need? I think that is it. Let's save it so that now we're going to have a text area here. Now what I want is I want this text area to have the same styles as the input. So what we're going to do is just inside the input here, we're going to place a comma and say the text area. So meaning the text area as well. And then this is going to be styled out like so, looking nice. And then once you have the text area, then we want the links. So these links. So we're going to go back inside here. We're going to create another article. And then we're going to have an input with a type of text with a name of links. Let me just call it link with an ID of link. And then we're going to have a placeholder. I can't type. The placeholder is going to say add links to your socials. So add links to your socials. And then we're going to have a label on top that is going to be going to links. And then it says what? Links. There we go. So save it, and then we should be having something on the screen. There we go. Now what I want to do is I want this to separate out. So that's why I placed articles inside here so that I can go on this form and I can give this form a class name of flex. And what will happen is it's going to break a bit. So now we want them to be flex column so that now I can add a gap of about 8 to separate everything out. There we go. That looks nice. I don't know whether it looks nice, but you know what, let's just have it as a gap of 8. We can work with that. So that is going to be everything inside here for our form, except that now we also need to create our templates, but we're not going to create our templates just yet. The next thing that I want to do is I want to create our mobile phone. So as you can see on mobile, this looks nice. Our application looks nice, right? So what we need to do is we need to create our mobile phone below this. And for that, we are going to create another component inside here that probably I can just call phone. Come on. And then I can go inside my components folder and I can create a new file called phone.js. Notice once again that it is lowercase, but then inside my application, I'm going to change this to uppercase so that I don't have issues. And then once I have that, I can just return a div that says phone for now, so that inside here I can import this correctly, and then when I save it, then we should see phone right there. So that looks okay. That looks nice. So let's begin to style out how our phone is going to look like. And inside here, we are going to do this. We're going to return a div. We're going to return a div. And then this div is going to have a class name of border-8 and border-black. border dash black, and then we're going to give it a rounded of about 2xl. And then let me see, what else do we need to do? Should I give it a height? I need it to have a height of 96, which is 300 and something pixels. I think 384. Yeah, 384 pixels, so 24 rem. And then we also need it to have a width. So for now, it can have a width of full. But when I get to medium screens, meaning tablets, then I want to reduce the width significantly. So on medium screens, I'm going to give it a width of 9/12, width dash 9/12, which is what? Width of what? What is 9/12? 3 goes here 3 times and 4, so width of 3/4, yeah. And then on large screens, then I'm going to reduce the width to dash 96 so that it doesn't go all the way to the end. And then let me see, let's save this, let's save it, let's see what you have on the screen. So we have this on the screen. Now height of 96 doesn't look too good, right? Height of 96 doesn't look good here. So let me move it from here, and then let me give it a custom style where I'm going to give it a height of about 500 pixels, and that should increase it just a bit. And this border radius doesn't look too good, so let me also give it a custom border radius. So I'm going to remove this from here, and then I'm going to say border radius, and I'm going to say about 30. I think that should be enough. How about 40? And then let me increase this height to 600. I think that is better. That is much better. Okay, so as you can see that this is obviously not what you want right here. So I'm going to work inside our index.js, and then inside this div, I'm going to give this div a class of grid and grid columns -1, and then I'm going to give it a gap of 8, or you know what, gap of 8. Let me say gap of 16, so that it's going to separate it out from this. And you can see this works because we're only going to be rendering 2 components inside here. And then what we need to do is right around, I think, medium screens. I don't know whether this is good. Is this really? Let's do this inside the phone where we have our medium screens. So inside the medium screens, let's return a width of 96, so that the width of 96 can start applying from medium screens right around here. Yeah, I think we can work with that. I still don't like this. I still don't like that. What if I make this to be on small screens? So small screens. Yeah, I think we can work with that. We can work with that, so that now I'm going to go here and say for small screens, then the MX should be auto, which is going to center it properly. You see, now it is in the center. Okay, and then what we need to do is for medium screens and above, then we want this to display on the left and then this to come here. So we're going to say this. We are going to say that, where is it? In our index.js, we're going to say that for medium screens, then the grid columns are going to be 2, which is going to bring this here. You can see, nice. And then you can see that it doesn't really go all the way to the end, but we're going to break this a bit. And okay, this height is still too small. 800, let's say 800. That's too much. 700. Okay, yeah, let's work with 700. But then what I'm going to do is this. I want this to be scaled down a bit. I want it to be scaled down. So what we're going to do is inside here, we're going to say that give it a scale, or let me say that for medium screens, then give it a scale of, let's say, 90. Just reduce it a bit. Scale of 90. Let me say scale of 75 is too small. I think 75 is too small, but 75 is the proper scale for this one. It's even smaller than the original, right? You can see it's even smaller. So should we work with 75 or 90? I think let's work with 90 for the sake of the video, so that we can see what we are doing. And so what we need to do next is I want this to be scrolling with us, because if you look in our application, we can scroll and this still remains here. So that is what I want to do. And the way we do that is this. I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to say that for medium screens, then I want this font to be fixed in position. And it's going to break, as you can see. So now it comes here, but we don't want it to be here. We want it to be on the right. So I'm going to say that for medium screens, bring it to the right by what? Let's say, okay, let's test it out first of all. Medium screens is right around here. So for medium screens, let's say bring it to the right of 20. How does that look? No, 2. Let's say right of 5. No, right of 8. Yeah, right of 8, so that it keeps with this margin. And you're going to see that now if we were able to scroll, then the phone is also going to scroll with us. And then we can increase it to around large screens. You can see the way it's growing. So for large screens, what we want to do is, let's say that for large screens, bring it to the right by 20. Let's see, large screens is where this is medium, and then large there. Okay, right of 20 looks okay. And then we're going to say that for 2XL screens, or the for XL screens, then bring it to the right by 32. We're just playing around with these numbers so that it fits correctly. That looks okay. And then we're going to say that for 2XL screens, bring it to the right by 52. How does that look? Yeah, you can see looking nice. And then when we add in our templates, then you're going to see that that it is going to scroll with us. So that looks okay. That looks okay. And then what do we need to do next? Let's see what we need to do. Probably we need to add in our templates. But before we add in our templates, let's go ahead and do this. We want to add in the functionality where when you type in something inside here, then it also updates on the phone. So let's go ahead and add in that functionality first of all. And the way we're going to do that is by turning our inputs into controlled inputs by React. So what we're going to do is, usually what we do is we need to import useState here, and then we're going to create some state values. So the first one is going to be name and set name, and this is going to be equal to useState, and by default it's going to be an empty string because we want this to tie to this input for the name, which means that we're also going to have a state value for our bio and another state value for our links. But one thing you should know is that for these links are going to be like a to-do list, because we want to be able to type in something inside here and then add it to our list that we're going to have. Now, in order to make that a bit more manageable for us, then what we're going to do is we're going to create some context. So inside the source folder, we're going to create a new folder that is called context. And then inside context, I'm just going to call this what? Let me just call it state.js. And then inside state.js, we're going to say import, let me see if I'm going to remember. So import create context from React, and then also we need to import useState. And the reason why we need to import useState is because we are going to remove this from here, and then we're going to add it inside our state. And then once we have that, then I'm going to say const, what do I call this? State context is equal to create context. Okay, and then I'm going to say export default function state. And then inside here, I can destructure children. And then what we're going to do is we're going to return, and we're going to be returning state context. Is it state context dot provider? And then the provider is going to take in some values which we are going to create. And then inside our state context, then we want to pass in the children, meaning the rest of the application. So for now, what you can do is we can create our state value of name and set name, and then this is going to be equal to useState, and by default it's going to be an empty string. And then because it's going to be easier, I want to destructure all the values that we're going to have. So I'm going to say const, let me call this what, context is equal to and we want to destructure the name and set name, so that now instead of passing all this inside the values, we can just go ahead and pass in context, which is going to pass in both values. I think this should be correct. Now let's save this, and then in order to be able to use this, we need to go inside our underscore app.js. So inside the pages folder and then inside underscore app.js, we need to go ahead and import state context. So is it state? No, import state. What am I saying? From context state, and then we're going to grab this, and then we're going to wrap it inside our state, so that now I can go ahead inside our form.js, and then instead of doing this, then I can say const, and I'm going to destructure, right? And I'm destructuring the name and set name, and this is going to be using a hook that is called use context, and it is going to be imported from React. And then inside use context, we want to get our context inside here. So we're going to say use context, and we want to get the state context. Wait, what am I doing? Use context state. Is it state or state context? Okay, I've made a mistake, because this should be coming from state context, which means the mistake that I've made is here. This should say export state context, so export const state context. So save it, so that now I should be able to import this as a named import from context state. Yeah, this should now work correctly. It should now work correctly, so I can save this. And so now, using these values that we have created in our context, I should be able to turn this input, this first input, into a controlled input by saying set the value of this into name, which we know once again that it is this state value that we have created. And then we're going to have an onChange handler, and then we're going to be targeting the E, the synthetic event of E, and we're going to say set name into e.target.value, meaning populate our state value, which is currently empty, with whatever is going to be typed inside this input. So now I can save this, but we are not going to be able to do anything yet, because I can still type it inside here, but nothing happens. So what we need to do therefore is we need to connect this input with this component that we've created, so that when I type inside this input, then it's going to show up somewhere in our component. And the way we do that is by going inside our form, and then once again we are going to be getting the name, right? So in getting the name from use context, and make sure to import it. I have auto imports on, so that when I type use context and I can just click on this, then it's going to auto import it from me. And then I can also auto import state context, for example. As you can see, when I click on this, it also auto imports it on top. So that is what is happening. And then once you have that, then I can go ahead inside here, and what I'm going to do is, the way I want to structure it is I want to have articles, and this article is going to be an h1 that says the name, right? So now I can save this and look at this magic. Now when I type it inside here, look what is happening right here. See that? So when I'm typing now, it is updating inside our form. Now obviously we don't want this to happen, so we're going to structure this just to look a bit better. So actually let's go ahead and do that right away. So inside the article, not inside the article, let's grab all of this and place it inside a div, which is going to be the parent for everything that we're going to place inside here. And then inside this div, we're going to give it a class name, and we're going to say give it a padding around of 8, just to push everything inwards first of all. And then for the h1, let's go ahead and give it a class name of text-center and text- let's say XL, and then let's say font-bold, and then probably text slate 800, so that we're going to have this looking nice. And then once you have that, then all you need to do is do the same thing for the bio. And then for the links, we are going to create a sort of to-do list. So let's go ahead and do that for the bio. So back inside our state, we are going to create a new state value called bio and set bio. This is going to be equal to useState. By default, it's going to be an empty string. And then we want to go ahead and destructure the bio and set bio, so that now everything that is going to be added here is automatically passed inside the value. So that now when I save this, I can go inside our form, and then I can also get the bio here and set bio, so that now I can go inside this text area and convert it into a controlled input. And I can say value here is going to be bio, and then on change, we're going to say pass in e, and we're going to say set bio into e dot target dot value. So that now when I save this, I can now go inside my form, and then below this h1, I want to have a paragraph that says the bio. But remember that we need to also get the bio here from use context, from our state context. And then when I save this, then what you're going to see is I can type in my name, and then I can type in something about myself, and you can see that it updates in our phone screen as well. So that looks nice. And you can see that our context is working. So now the way I want to style this is I want to give this a class name of margin top of 4, and then text dash center here. There we go. Nice. Looking fantastic. And then next, we just need to create our links inside here. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, we are going to need to structure this a bit differently, because we need this to be a to-do list, right? We need to be able to type in something inside here, and then we should be able to see it here. So therefore, because we need that, then we also need some kind of submission to be happening. So since we already have a form here, if I add in a button here, it is automatically going to be the submit button, and that is not what I want. So what we're going to do therefore is I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm going to create a new component that is called to do. Should I call it to do? Let me just call it links for the sake of naming things. And then let's say RFC inside here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste this in. So we're going to have links. Okay, let's save it. Change this to capital L. And then inside the form, we're going to render links inside here. So links. So that now, if we take a look at our links is not defined, let's import this. Now, if you take a look at our application, nothing changes. You can see that nothing changes, right? But now the links, we have destructured the links, is now going to be here. So what we need to do is we need to have a few state values. So we need to have a state value for the links that we have, all the links that we have, meaning it's going to be an array. And then we also need another state value, which is going to handle this input. So we're going to create them inside our state. So let's go back inside our context and inside state.js. Let's create a new input that is called, what should I call it? Links, and set links. This is going to be equal to useState, and by default it's going to be an empty array. And then we're also going to have another input that is going to be called a link. I hope this doesn't confuse me. So link is going to be the text. So link and set link is going to be equal to useState, and by default it's going to be an empty string. And then let's go ahead and destructure this. So links and link, and then set links and set link, and then save it. And then I can go inside my links, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to destructure the link, and then I'm going to destructure the links, and then set link and set links, and then this is going to be equal to use context, and then we want to pass in our state context. So let's change this input into a controlled input. So we're going to pass in a value of link, and then on change we're going to say pass in e, and then we're going to say set link into e dot target dot value. Okay, that looks okay. What else do we need to do? What else do we need to do? I don't think there's anything else except that we need to create a form here. Sorry, not a form, but a component which is going to render our links. For now, I can just do it inside here, but let me not do that just yet. So how do we do this? How do we handle the submission? The way we handle the submission, oh, it seems that I actually need to create the extra div or something. So let's create a div inside here, and then inside this div we're going to say this. We are going to say what am I doing? Let's say links.map, and then for every link that you get back, let's also get back the index, and then we are going to be returning, and let's return, not a div really, but let's return a UL, so an ordered list, and then let's return a list item with the key of index, and then inside here we're just going to say link dot title. But where is dot title coming from? Dot title is coming from when we submit this. So let's go ahead and create it, otherwise we're going to get an error. And once again, we are going to create it inside our context because we want it to be accessible everywhere. And actually, you know what, I can do it inside here, and then we can just cut it out and paste it inside our context. So we're going to create a submit function. So const handle submit, and then inside here we're going to be targeting the synthetic event of e, where we're going to say e.prevent default, meaning prevent the default behavior of the page refreshing when you submit the form. And then in order for this to work, then this actually needs to be a form. So let's cut it out and paste it inside a form. Let's remove the action and then paste this in. And then on the form, we're going to have an on submit event handler, where we're going to pass in the handle submit function that we have created on top. So let me save this. Actually, don't save it first, because this is going to break. It's going to break because of this. So let's go ahead and say this. We want that when we submit the form, then it creates a new item and it passes it inside the set links. And this should be set link with 1K, sorry, without the S. And then inside here, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new item. And then the new item is going to be an object, where we're going to say, what is it? We're going to say that the new item is going to be an object, and the ID is going to be, we need to create a unique ID for every item. So we're going to say new date dot get time dot toolstring. Now, I don't recommend that you do this, but this is just because I don't want to install UUID. And then we're going to create the title, and the title here is going to be the link. So the title is going to be the link, and the link, remember, is going to be dependent on whatever we type in inside this input. And then what we need to do now is we need this new item to be passed inside the set links, which is the function that controls our array. So I'm going to say set links into, and I'm going to say pass in all the links that are already there, and then pass in the new item. And you know what, that is actually the wrong order. I need the new item to come first. So new item, and then using the spread operator, I'm saying if there's anything inside the links, meaning if it is not empty, then pass in the remaining links. Okay, so we can have that. And then just so that this is a bit better, let's cut it out, and then let's have it inside an if statement. So if the if link is present, then I want this to happen. Else, then I just want to raise an alert that says input cannot be empty. Let's see. I hope that covers everything. Let's save it, and hopefully nothing breaks. Hopefully nothing breaks. So let's try it out. Let me add in this or something, and then let me add in YouTube, and oh, something breaks. Hydration failed, hydration failed. So we have 3 errors. the initial UI doesn't match with what was rendered on the server. Form can, oh, you know what? It is because of this form here. So we have a form and we're rendering it inside another form here. That is what is happening. That is what is happening. So what if I grab this and move it downwards so that now the form is on top? What happens? This happens, but does it work? Okay, there we go. So you can see that now YouTube works, and then I can add in my name, and then I can type in something, and then you can see that now the links are here. So we just need to style this out a bit better. So let me go inside this article and give it a class name of margin top of 8, and 8 because on the form we have a gap of 8, so just to keep everything uniform. And then let's tell out these links. Let's tell out these links. So the links are going to be inside this UL, and the way we're going to style them is we're going to give this UL a class name of margin top of 8 just to keep everything uniform. Okay, that's too much. Let's say margin top of 4, which is a half of 8. And then let's go inside the list items, and inside the list items we're going to say give it a class name, and we're going to say padding y of 2, or the padding y of 3 and padding x of 2, so that I can give the list items a BG of white, and then a very slight rounded border with a slight box shadow as well. And then let's say text. Should I use slate? No, I used purple. So text purple dash 600 and font dash bold. So that way we're going to have that. Would you look at that? So these are our links, and then I can type in another one, so Facebook, and you can see that it's going to be added, but we want them to be separated. We don't want them to be attached to one another. So inside the UL, I mean, I can even do it inside the list items. I can just say margin bottom of about 2, just to separate them out. There we go, looking nice, nice, nice. Now we want this to come from here and then to display on our phone. And you can see that the way we have done it inside here, that we can't really get it. We can't really get them. So what we're going to do is, let's see. Actually, it might still work. Let's go inside the phone and let's get the links. And then once we get the links, we are going to go below this article. We're going to create another article where we're going to map over the links. So links.map. And then for every link, we want to get the index of the link as well. And then let's return a list item with the key of index. And then inside here, let's return the link dot title. And then this shouldn't be an article, it should be an UL. So, and you know what? Why did I need to do this? I could have just copied and pasted it. I can just copy this and then paste it inside here so that even the styles apply. So that when I save it, and they should appear there. Would you look at that? And then now for the ones that appear here, I want the text to be centered. So I can just go ahead inside the UL and say text center. And it's going to center everything. But I don't want the text to be purple inside here. So the text here is going to be slate. And we're going to have that. And then let's move it downwards even more by increasing the margin top to 8. There we go. Looking nice, nice, nice. And then you know what? Not just that, but let's increase the margin bottom to 4 as well. There we go. And then for the links that are inside here, I want that when I hover over them, I want them to like pop up a bit like this. See the animation? I want them to pop out a bit. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to change the cursor here to pointer. So cursor dash pointer. And then let me see, how do we do that? Can we do that in Tailwind, or do I need to use custom CSS? Let's see. Let me add a custom class here called pop out. So, or just pop, so that I can go inside my globals and I can save that for the class of pop. Then I want to add an animation, and the animation is going to be called pop. And then I want it to pop for about what, 0.3 seconds, and then in a linear fashion. And then I can create the animation, so add keyframes, and I'm creating it from, and I'm going to say from transform, and we want it to scale from 1, and we want it to go to, wait, not from, let's say from, at 0% it is on a scale of 1. At 25% we're going to say transform and scale it to 1.08. Is this going to work? What is happening here? What is happening here? What is this error? At rule or what? What is the at rule? Oh, wait a minute. This should have a name. There we go. Let's see. 25% is going to be 1.08. And then let me bring this back to the top line. And then 50%, we're going to say transform. This is not going to work as I expected. This is not going to work as I'm thinking. We wanted to scale to 1.06. And then, wait a minute. This is too much. Let's say this is 0. Let's say 33%. 33%, and then 66%, and then 100%. We want it to transform and scale to 1.04. This is not going to work as I'm thinking. Let's try it out. Wait, what? Is this not working? That is not working. Let's say background color red to see what is happening. So background color is applying, but the animation is not applying. Am I missing something? How do you add an animation? How do you add an animation? Where is it? Where is that class even? It's on the list item on the phone. Why can't I remember this? This is very annoying. Let me use my Google Docs to cheat a little bit. Let me see what I did in the repository. Just give me a moment. Okay, so I've got the solution. And the solution is to change this to be on hover. So that now when I hover over it, then it's going to be this. And of course, I don't want the red color on hover, so let's remove it. So now when you hover over it, then it pops in. That's not really the best animation. It's not really the best. So, oh, you know what? We can do this. We can remove this, and then we can change this to 50%. So 1.06, 1.04, how does that look? This animation too slow, 0.1. Okay, too fast, 0.2. I'm not sure whether that is the best. Let's change this to 1.08. And then change this to 1.06. It's a lot of trial and error. A lot of trial and error, but that's okay. That is okay. Now, where were we? We were adding in more links. So Facebook, let's say Instagram. And there we go. Now, what I want is when I finish typing here, I want this input to be cleared. So back inside our links, is it the links or the form? The links. So here, we're going to say set link back to an empty string. So that now when I finish typing, for example, if I add in GitHub, then it goes back to an empty string. You can see that is much better. It is a much better user experience. Now, what I want is, I don't want this function to be here. I want all of this functionality to be inside our context. So I'm going to grab this, cut it out, and then inside our state.js, I'm going to paste it below this. And then I'm going to pass in this function right here. So handle submit, and then I can save it. And then now what I'm going to do is inside here, we're going to get the handle submit function. So handle submit. That is very convenient for our context. And then we can save it and nothing should break. There we go. So nothing breaks. That is much, much better. Now what I want is I want to add in an icon here, which is going to be the delete icon. So I want that if I don't want this link, for example, then I can click on the icon, which is going to delete it. And the way we do that is by going inside our links right here, and then we're going to grab this and place it inside a span, probably. Is that the best way to do it? You know what? Let's do this. Let's do the opposite. Let me paste in the link, and then let's have a span, and inside this span we're going to have a minus icon, which is not a minus icon really, but minus. And then let's save it, and it should appear somewhere here. And then how we're going to style it is we're going to say give it a flexbox with item center and justify between, which is going to bring the icon here, the minus here. Now this is a bit too small, so let's try to make it bigger. So class name, let's say text-4xl, and this, it does look a bit big, but it's okay. Let's say probably 3xl, and then let's have a cursor of pointer, so that when you hover over it, then the cursor changes to a pointer. And then let's say that on hover we want the BG to be purple-300. How does that look? That looks okay. And then let me give it a width of 2 and a height of 2, so that we can have it as a square. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Let's remove that. Let me say padding on the X of 3, because I want to make it rounded. And then I can say rounded-full. And then let's add a select transition, so transition-all with the duration of 150, so that when you hover over it, there is just a very slight transition. Now this is not a perfect circle, so let's try to fix it by giving it a padding bottom of 1. Not the best, but let's just work with this. Let's work with this. Now the way we're going to add in the functionality for this is very similar to how we've just done the handle submit. So we're going to go below this handle submit, and we're going to create another function that is called handle delete. So handle delete, we're going to pass in our ID, and then we're going to say this: we want to filter over all the links that we have right over this array, and I'm going to say set links into links.filter. Is that correct? Links.filter, yes. And then I'm going to say that for every link that we get back, for every link, why am I forgetting? For every link, links.filter, and then for the link we want to return and we're going to say link.id, which is not equal to the ID. Is that correct? Is this correct? For every link.id, which is not equal to the ID. Okay. And then let's go ahead and pass in the handle delete function. Handle delete, let's save it. And then inside our links, is it here? Inside our links, let's go ahead and get the handle delete function. So handle delete, oops. And then we can go inside the list item, sorry, not inside the list item, but inside the span, and we're going to have an on-click event on the span, where we're going to pass in our inline function, and we're going to say handle delete by the ID, by the link.id. Now link.id here, because this ID is going to be unique depending on this. Now once again, I'm going to say it is not recommended to use dates as a unique ID. You can use UUID if you want. I think it is a much better solution to using dates, but that is where this ID is coming from. So the ID that we have inside here is the same one that we're referencing here, and it is the same one that we're saying link.id. So that when I save this and we try to remove this one, hopefully it works. Let's see. There we go. And you can see that the state here is connected to the one here, so that when I remove this one, it also removes it from here. So that is very, very convenient. Looking fantastic. That's nice. Okay, so I think the next solution would be to create our, what's it called? This thingy. My brain is lagging. what is it? Our input, our upload image functionality. So let's go ahead and create that next. And the way we're going to do that is, remember how we were going to add it here? So we're going to create a, should I do it here? I think we're going to blot out this. So let me create a new component that is called image upload.js. And then let's say RFC here. And then we're going to say image upload. And then let me just say image upload. And then save it. And then let's go back inside our form. And then let's run an image upload from image upload. Okay, that looks okay. And let me see, save it. We should see image upload here. And then we're going to be using Cloudinary. So we're going to need to create a Cloudinary account if you want this to work. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a form here. And the form is not going to have an action. We're going to have an article. And then we're going to have a label that says, actually, do I have a label here? I don't even have a label. Let's create a label that says image label for upload. That says upload profile image. And then below this, we're going to have an input with a type of, what's it called, file, with a name of upload, with an ID of upload. Okay, let's save it. And then we should be able to see it here. So you can see that we have our file here, our input. And then let's go inside this article, give it a class name, and say margin bottom of 8 to push away from this part. Fantastic. And here I created this upload profile image. And just like you've seen here, I've not in this app, I've also not added the submit button. You can add it if you want, and actually I think I will, so that we can just keep it true to this. So let's create a submit button. Where do I create it? Probably here. Let me create a button with a type of submit, and the button is going to say upload profile image. And then let's style it out. Let's say give it a class name of bg purple-600, and the text is going to say purple-900. Let's say padding on the y of 3, padding on the x of 6 with a slightly rounded border. And then let me see what else. Let's say what, on hover I want the ring to be 4, and then on hover I want the ring to be purple-300. And then let's say add a transition, so transition-all with the duration of 150. And then save it, and then let's see what you have. It's right here. Okay, not the best looking color. Let's change it to 300, purple 300, 100. And then let's change the font to bold, so font-bold. And then now, instead of the margin being on this input, we're going to add it on the form. So margin on the form so that it doesn't push down the input. And then inside the form, let's change it into a flexbox so that this appears here. And then we're going to say items-center, center. Okay. And then what is this? Is this because of the margin bottom here? No, that is not because of the margin bottom. What is, do the inputs have a margin on the bottom? Let me check. Do the inputs have a margin on the bottom? No, they don't have a margin on the bottom. What is this? What is this? Let's check it out. Let me see. At around here. Oh, you know what? I've just realized it. This part, it is on the center of the label and the input. That's the reason why it's behaving like that. Meaning, if I go inside the image upload and I remove this label, then it should now fix it. I really hate this. Let's take it back, and then let's change, let's not have item center, and that should stretch out the button. But the button is not stretched out. I don't like it. And then let's say justify dash between, which is going to take it to the end here. And then this is a big button. So we have upload profile image, and then let's see what do we need to do. On mobile, I don't want this to be here because it looks ugly, as you can see. So let's have it as flex column by default, and then let's have a gap of about 4, separate it out. And then I'm going to say that for medium screens, maybe for large screens even, that's when I'm going to take it back to flex row. And then you know what, I don't want this label here. I don't want the label because it messes up the styling on large screens. You can see it messes up. I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is for the label, I'm going to give it a class name here, and I'm going to say that for large screens then display it as hidden because I don't like it. I don't like it, so that now this can behave properly. And then let's reduce the size of this. So text dash small. Yeah, let's reduce the size, probably reduce the padding y to 2. And then we're going to have that. Was the padding reduced? Oh, it can't reduce because the flex is here. Because flex, it's displayed as a flex box. Okay. And so let's create the functionality for our upload button. And remember, I said that we are going to be using the Cloudinary API for our upload button. And I do recommend that you go and check out that video if you want to create that upload application or whatever. But for now, if I go into my Cloudinary account, and by default, we're going to be on this page once you log in. But when you go into your media library, this is where everything is going to be stored. So we're going to need to set up a few things before we can begin to upload our images here. So if you go into your settings here, then you're going to find that you can upload here. You can upload stuff inside here. And then when you upload, then you have some upload presets that are set aside. So the upload preset that I'm going to be using in this video is this one right here. So this is the very same one that I used in the video that I created about a year ago, somewhere or thereabout. So this is the upload preset that I'm going to use, and this is where you can find your own upload preset. Okay, so now just keep that in mind. And then to make everything more secure, then we are going to be installing a new dependency called Axios. So I can add in a terminal here, and then I can say npm install Axios. And then now, just like with everything else, we are going to create the state for it inside our context. Okay, and so inside our context, we're going to do the following. We're going to add in a state value, and I'm going to call it profile image. So profile image and set profile image, and this is going to be equal to useState, and by default useState, and by default it's going to be an empty object. And then we are going to create another one that is called selected images. So selected images and set selected images, and this is going to be equal to useState, and by default is going to be an empty array. And then we're also going to create a third and final one that is called image data and set image data, and this is going to be equal to useState, come on, and by default is going to be null. And you're going to see where this is going to come in. It is very important that you have it. And so let's go ahead and create the function that is going to upload the image to Cloudinary. So I'm going to go below our handle delete, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say const. I'm going to create a function that is called upload profile image, and then this is going to be like so, where we're going to say const form data is equal to new form data, and then I'm going to say form data dot append, and we're going to be appending the file, and then we're going to add in the selected images, meaning we are appending whatever we're going to be selecting when we click on this. When you click on this, so when you click on this, whatever file that you're going to select is going to be placed inside the selected images state value, which is currently an empty array. So that is what we are adding inside here. And then we're also going to append, so form data dot append, and we want to append our upload preset upload underscore preset, and inside here we want to upload the upload preset that we have, so this one right here. So just copy this, and it's going to be different for you, so make sure that you have that, because I'm not going to commit this to the repository just to be safe for myself. And what I'm going to do is inside here we're going to pass it inside a string, and we're going to pass in the upload preset. Okay, looking nice. And then below this we're going to say const post profile image is equal to an asynchronous function, and then inside this asynchronous function, can't speak, we're going to have a try catch block. And so inside the error we're just going to say console dot error, the error, meaning just log the error to the console. And then inside the try block we're going to do this, we're going to send our API GET request. So we're going to say const response is equal to await, and we're going to wait axios dot post, and we need to import axios, by the way, sorry about that. So import axios from axios, remember we were installing it here. So import axios from axios, and then we can go back here. And what is this saying? It is saying await has no effect. What? Await has no effect. Asynchronous function. Wait a minute, let's just finish this first of all. So await axios.post, and we're going to be posting it to HTTPS, and the link to the Cloudinary API is this one. So api.cloudinary.com/v1_1/Sankara, and this is the name of your cloud. Okay, this is the name of your cloud, and I'm going to show you where you're going to get it. And then we're going to say image/upload. Okay, and then below this we're sorry, not below this, but at the end of this comma, we're going to pass in our form data, meaning everything that we've just appended, we're going to pass it in at the end of this request. And then below this we're going to say this, we're going to say set image data into the response.data, meaning now instead of this being null, now populate it with whatever we get back from this request. So we're going to have that. And then let's see, what do we need to do? Anything else? I think we just need to call this function. So post profile image, and then let me see, I think that should do it. Now what we need to do is, let me show you where you're going to get your cloud name. So back inside Cloudinary, we're going to go back to the profile. So oops, did something wrong there. Did not intend to do that. So when you go inside your, where is it? Come on, where are you getting started? Loading. Could you load in? Really? Where's the cloud name? I can't get the cloud name. Okay, so if you go inside your dashboard, then you're going to find your cloud name right here. So mine is Sankara. Okay, so always make sure that you change this to your proper cloud name. Otherwise this request is not going to work. I mean, this request is going to work as it is, but since I'm going to disable it by the time you're seeing this video, then it's not going to work. Okay, fantastic. Now let's go ahead and save this, and what we need to do is we need to pass in this function inside our context. So upload profile image, and then we also need to pass in the image data and the profile image and set profile image. We also need to pass it inside the context. So let's go ahead and say profile image and set profile image, and then we also need to pass in selected images. Do we need that? And set selected images. Let's save it. And then now, where were we? We were going to create this. we are going to upload our profile. So let's go ahead and go back inside our phone, and then inside our phone, on top of this article, we're going to have another article, and then this article is going to be our image from Cloudinary. So the way we're going to do that is this. So on top, we are going to import a component. So I'm going to say import image, the image component. Now this image is not coming from NextJs. This is image from Cloudinary React. Wait a minute, Cloudinary -React, which is a dependency that I've not installed. Really? Let's go ahead and install it. So let's say npm install Cloudinary-React. And then as that installs, we want to render this image inside our article. So we're going to say render the image, and then this image is going to be as follows. We're going to say the cloud name, it takes in a prop called cloud name. Is it camel case? Cloud name is equal to Sankara, which is the cloud name for me. And then it also takes in a public ID. So public ID, which is going to be the public ID of the image that you want to show. And then inside here, we're going to pass in template literals, and we're going to say HTTPS, and this is going to be coming from res.cloudinary.com. And just to mention, if you want to get this link, all you need to do is just console log this response. So if you console log the response.data, then you're going to get this entire link. So this is going to go into Sankara once again, and then image /upload /what v. This is going to be different for you, but 16494, as you can tell, I am reading it from somewhere. So 164942756. This is for me, so just make sure that you console log it so that you get the correct one for you. And then let's see, this is going into / and then our template literals, and then we're going to say image data dot public _ID. And as you can tell, we need this obviously, so we need to get it from context. So let's get image data. Let's make sure that this is installed. Okay, correct. And then what we're going to do is, this sometimes displays an error. It sometimes throws an error to the screen. So to keep it from doing that, we're going to cut it out, and then we're going to check for whether image data exists. So we're going to say, oops, not there, here. So we're going to say if image data, or rather only when image data is true. Only when image data is true, that's when you can display the image, meaning once all of this has uploaded to Cloudinary. Okay, that looks okay. Let's save it, and then let's test and see whether everything is working correctly. Let's reload it. Let's check to see whether we have any issues. We don't have any issues in the console. Okay, so let's choose a file. Let me choose this one, which is the book that I have, which you can check out for 50% off on my Gumroad profile when you use the discount code TOM10. I had to. Okay, so it uploaded. Did it upload? Did it upload? It uploaded somewhere. Let me check our library. It uploaded. Is it this one? Wait. Was it this one really? Let's check F12. Do we have any errors? We don't have any errors. But did it upload? That is the real question. Oh, wait a minute. There's something that is happening. Something is happening. Image data. Where is the form? Image upload. Here. We don't have the submit function. Oh my God, we don't have the submit function. Let's go ahead and get the upload profile image. So upload profile image function from use context, and then let's pass in our state context, and then the form we're going to say on submit we're going to call the upload profile image. That should do it. That should do it. Let's save it and then let's try it out once again. So choose a file. Let me choose this one once again, and then upload, and it should appear here as an insanely big image. Wait, what? Is this even working? Is it working? Just want to see whether we have multiple images. So even this one is not working. So there's something that I did wrong somewhere. There's something I did wrong somewhere. Let me figure it out. And you know what? I've just seen it here. I've just seen it. We need to change this to a controlled input. All right. So we're going to say this. Is it the value? The value? No, not the value. We need the set selected images. So on change, we need to pass in. We're going to say pass in e not 2. Then we're going to say set selected images into e.target.value. And then we want to select the first one that has been uploaded. Sorry, not dot value, dot files, because this is a file. Sorry, this is dot files. Okay, and then we need to get this function. So set selected images, set selected images, and I think that should do it now. This should do it now. I hope this does it. Right, set selected images. What is happening here? Did you mean set selected or set selected images? Okay, there we go. So save it. Now let's try it once more. Choose a file and let's upload it. And it should appear here. And why is it reloading? Why is it reloading? Oh my God, I hate this. I really, really hate this. I think it is because of the reload, sorry. Let's try, let me see whether this is going to change to 78. Does it? Does it even load in? Still nothing is happening. Okay, let me grab this and cut it out and place it on this button. So the on click, and this is going to be on click now because it is a button. So on click. So on click, we want to call this function, and then let me remove this form. And then I'm going to grab these class names and place them on the article. And actually that is going to be an issue. That is going to be an issue. So what we need to do is we need to grab this article. So grab this article all the way to the button, place it inside a div, and then grab these class names and place them here. That should do it. Okay, that doesn't change anything. Okay, now let's try it once more. Okay, upload. Let's see. Does it upload? The image needs to appear here. Do you upload? Let's reload this. This is really frustrating. And in case you're wondering, it is currently 12:38 a.m. It is midnight. Oh, there we go. There we go. So it has uploaded the images. Now it has uploaded the images. So why isn't it showing here? I thought we set it up to show here on the phone. Image data is going to be this. So why isn't it showing image data? Why are you not showing? Probably we should style it out. Give this a class name. And oh, something interesting is that you can style this out just like a normal component, just like a normal element, I mean. So let's say width of 40 and height of 40, and then rounded dash full with a very, very slight box shadow. And then what? Let's say, let's change it into a block element and MX auto that it centers, and then margin bottom of it to push away from this heading that we have. And then what else? I want the object to cover, so that the image stretches out properly. And then what else? I think that is it. Let's have an alt attribute here that says profile image just for now. profile image and then save it, and then what, reload. Okay, let's go back to this proper link. Okay, let's try to upload this one once again. Upload. Does it show here? Why don't you show? Why don't you show when you're uploading very well? Let me say something. Let me see something. Let me disable this, and then let me add in image. Sorry, not that. Let me add in some text. So Lorem 5. Where does it go? Here. So here, this is where the image should appear, but it is not appearing. So let's go back inside our state. Let's console log this, console.log the response.data, so that I can actually see what is happening. I can see whether we are getting the correct thing here. So when you upload, this is the asset ID. We want the secure URL. Oh, you know what? This is the one that is different. See this one here? That's the one that is different, right? Wait, where is it? Where is it? Image upload. Oh, where is it? Come on. Here. Yes, let's remove this. So the public ID is the one that is different. The public ID is res cloudinary sankara image, and then upload, and then this one, and then image data public ID. So the public ID is this one. So this is the part that is different. So copy this and paste it here. There we go. So now it should work. Let's try it once again. Let's reload. Let's try to upload this one, upload profile image, and now it should appear here. So it has gone through to Cloudinary, but what? Why would you still upload? Why won't you upload? You know what? Let me try something. Let me copy this link and open it in a new tab. Where does it go? See, it gets the correct image, right? It gets the correct image. Okay, so let me copy this, and then let me go where? Let me go here. Let me disable this, and then the public ID is equal to, and then let me paste this link. Let me see whether that is going to work. Do you show up? Okay, something is wrong. Oh, wait a minute. We installed this. Do we need to restart our dev server? Let's try that. Because we installed Cloudinary React here. So let's try restarting our dev server, and hopefully that fixes it. And I'm very hopeful about that. I don't know whether it's going to work, but let's try it out because we have nothing to lose. And then let's reload it to make sure that it is reloaded. And then let's see. So there we go. Let's upload something. Let's say upload profile image. Does it show up? It still doesn't show up. This is really annoying. This is really annoying. Okay, so now that I am out of options, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to grab this, so not grab, but disable all of this, and then I'm going to add in a custom image and then paste in this link to my image, to the image that I want, and then I'm going to pass in these class names, copy and paste them here, then save it, and let's see. Okay, so see, now the image comes in. So the issue, could the issue be this image data? Could the issue be image data? What is image data? What is the image data? Image data is null, and we say oh, what? No, I've just seen that it is disabled here, meaning I did not pass it in. Oh my god, image data. They say programming is easy. Annoying is what it is. Okay. Okay, now let's try it once again. Let's disable this image, and then let's enable this one, and then save it, and then reload, and then upload, and then upload. Now it should appear here. There we go. Oh my goodness. That took an insanely long amount of time. Okay, and now we can type in something, so you can see that this is how it's going to be. So something about myself, and then we can add in links to YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Would you look at that? That looks nice, doesn't it? Now if we add in more links, so GitHub, and then what else, LinkedIn, look at what happens. See, now we add in more links. Now they start to overflow outside of this. If I add in Google Plus, am I really that old? So if I add in Google Plus here, you can see that now these begin to overflow outside of this container. And then see now how we can scroll, but this one still stays to the like correct position. So let's fix this by going into our phone, which is this div, and then we're going to say set the overflow dash auto, and that should fix it. Obviously now it introduces this, which is not really the best looking UI, but it works, so that now we can scroll within this. That looks okay, right? Now let's remove this link and this one, and let's have this one. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we need to create our templates. So these templates that we have right here. So let's go ahead and do this. Therefore, for the templates, we are going to go into pexels.com. So pexels.com, and we're going to download many images. And I don't know, we can download just a bunch of random images as long as they are landscape in nature. So let me just get like this one. Let's say download, no, just download the large size. And then I want them to download inside YT videos and inside this folder. And then I'm going to place them inside the public folder, inside a new file that is called templates. So templates. And then inside here, I'm just going to call this template one. So template dash one. And then I'm going to download another one. So which one? This one. Let's say download the large one. Let's say template 2. So template dash 2. Let me copy this to be faster. And then let's download another one. So I want to download a couple of them. So like which one? This looks nice. This one. This looks okay. This one. For the next few minutes, it's just going to be me downloading images. So let's go ahead and say which one else. I'm trying to get one where the ones where there is no one, and I don't like this one. Can get this one. Come on. Oh, this is a video. What? Okay, you know what? Let's just search for this. Let me search for like what? Serene. And then let's see what comes up. And then let's change it to, let's filter so that we have the vertical ones. And then let's see, loading. Let's get this one. Nice, nice, nice. Download. And then let's change this to template 4. And then let's get this one. Download. Change this to template 5. I wanted to get a bunch of them for this video so that we can have a lot of examples to work with. Let me get this one. Download the large one. Let's get template 6. Template 6. This one, okay. Let's say large one. Template 7. Let me just download 10 of them. So template 7, and then let's go ahead and say which one else. We can get this one as well, the large one. Let's say template -8. Which one else? Two more. I can get this one, template 9. So template -9, and then I can get which one? I can get this one. This looks okay, for template -10. And then let's just work with that. So template -10. Okay, and close this. And then now what we're going to do is this. We are going to go back inside our state, and then inside our state we're going to create an array of objects. So right on top of this, I'm going to say this: const data is equal to an array of objects. So here we're just going to get the images, and the images are coming from /templates, and the images are called template one dot, is it JPEG or JPG? Templates JPG. Okay, and then we just need to do this 9 more times. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is 2, this is 3, and then 4, and then 5 6 7, oops, and then come on, 8, and then 9, and then 10. So these are our 10 images that we've just downloaded. Now we need the state value that is going to handle this. So we're going to say this. We're going to say const images, and we don't need set images here because we're not going to using that function. So here we can just add use state, and then we're going to pass in our data, and then we also need the values. So const value and set value is going to be equal to use state, and by default is going to be 0, meaning we want to show the first item on the array of objects that we've just created. And then let's go ahead and destructure the image. So const image is equal to not use state, but it's going to be images depending on the value that is currently being shown. And I'm thinking I should probably call this templates just to know what we're dealing with. So let me change this to templates because it is a bit more descriptive. So templates. And then for these ones, we are not going to do anything inside here. All we need to do is just pass this inside the context. So let's go ahead and pass in the image that we've just destructured. And then let's go ahead and say templates and set templates. I just realized I didn't change that. Templates, and then what value, and set value as well. Let me change this, which was it, templates. Oh, we didn't create set templates. What am I doing? So let's remove this. There we go. So we can save this, and then now inside our phone we are going to have the following. Let's remove this. We don't need this. So inside our phone, inside here, we want to add in the background image, right? We want to add in the background image, which is going to be dependent on the value that we're going to have, the template that we're selecting, I mean. So that means that we need to create the templates component. So let's create a new component here, new component that is called templates.js, and then let's say RFC, and then inside here, let's change this to capital T. And so we're going to say this. We're going to say const, let's destructure the templates. Destructure the templates. We're going to say is equal to use context, and then we want to pass in the state context. And then inside here, we're going to have a, let me call it a section with an h2 that says choose a template. And then below this h2, we're going to do this. We want to do what? We want to map over the templates data. So templates.map. And then let me just say that for every item, I also want to get the index. Wait a minute, made a mistake here. So for every item, we want to get back the index. And then we're going to say this, return an article, article with the key of index. And then inside this article, we are going to return the image component from NextJs. So image from NextJs here from next/image. So import this one, and then for the image we're going to say this, we're going to give it a width of, let's say, like what, 500. Okay, 500 is too big. Let's say width of 200 and a height of goes to what? Okay, I want the width to be smaller than the height so that they look rectangular, right? So let's say the width is going to be 150 and the height is going to be 250, and then the alt attribute is just going to be template. Let me change it into backticks. So I'm going to say template number and then pass in the index +1. Okay, and then what do we need? The source, I forgot the source. So the source for this is going to be item.image, and item.image because that is what we have in our state. So in our state we have the item.image. The image is these ones, each of these properties. Now let's close this part of this one to make things a bit more manageable. So inside templates, let's go ahead and save this, and then let's go inside our form. Sorry, not inside our form, but inside our form, and then below this form, below this article, let's go ahead and render templates, which is coming from /templates here. And then once I save this, then we should be able to see the templates right below this. So choose a template. You can see that we have a number of them where, oh, they're still loading in. They are still loading in. Took a while to load in. Okay, so you're going to have all of this. Now let's go ahead and style this out because I want them to be aligned like 1, 2, 3, right? But for mobile, obviously, I don't want them to be aligned as 1 to 3. So for mobile, let's do this inside templates. Let's go ahead and grab this, place it inside the div so that we can actually style it out, and then give this div a class name and say grid and grid columns, grid dash columns, columns dash 1, sorry, dash 2 with a gap of 4. This is for mobile. So 1, 2, okay. And then let's see. Let me see what we can do. I'm going to say that for medium screens, then grid columns dash 3. I think that should do it. Let's see. Okay. And then let's tell out these images. So give this a class name and say border dash, let me just have border, and then border dash purple dash 600, and then padding all round of 2 with a rounded dash large with a very slight box shadow. And then on hover, I want a ring of 4. And then on hover once again, I want the ring to be purple dash 300. And then let's have a slight transition dash all with a duration of 150. Let's see how it looks. It looks like so. Okay, that looks nice. And then let's go ahead and say this. I want what? I want to style up this h2, so give this a class name. And then let's say text dash 2xl, and then font dash bold, and then margin bottom dash 4, and then margin top dash 4. Let me say margin y4. So margin on the top and bottom of 4. Okay, that looks bad. Let's say margin top of 8, then margin bottom of 4. We pushed away more from this input. And then let's say text dash purple dash 600. So choose a template, and then we need to change this into a cursor pointer. So you know what, let me go inside the article. Inside the article, give this a class name and say cursor dash pointer, so that when you hover over this, then the cursor changes into a pointer. Okay. And then what? I don't like the way these images are. We're going to fix that in a few. And so I want that when I click on an image here, then the ring remains, this outer ring remains, so that it can give you like a visual cue that this is the current image that you are on. So let's go ahead and do this. What we need to do is we need to get the value here. And then we're going to say this. We are going to grab all of these classes, cut them out, and then place them inside template literal, so backticks. And then we're going to say that when the value is equal to the index, that's when I want the ring. I want what? Sorry, I want the ring dash purple dash 600. Is that going to work? Does that even work? Let me say value is not equal to index. What happens? Nothing happens. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's try to replicate this functionality right here. Let me add in an article, and then let's add in an image. The source for this image is going to be the image that we have. So let's also destructure the image here. So image, we need to have a comma. So image. Okay, and we know that this image is dependent on what is being clicked. Okay, so you can see that this is the first image, and if I click on this one, okay, so some functionality is not working. Some functionality is not working. Let me figure out what is not working. On click, it doesn't have on click. Yes. So we want that when we click on this on click, then we want to say what is the state value? What is the state value? What? Oh, wait a minute. It should be set value. We want to say set value into the index. Oops, what was that? Set value into the index of the current image. So let's try it out. Set value is not defined. We need to import it. Set value, and then that should fix it. So click on this. There we go. So you can see that now, depending on each one, then the image changes on top. So that looks okay. That looks okay. So meaning we can now remove this. We don't need it anymore because our functionality is working. Now that we know all that is working, we still need to figure out why this is not persisting. So when I click on this, probably should remove this and remove this quotation mark. That should fix it. Okay, value is equal to index. I mean, the default image, the image should show still. What? I don't want to deal with this right now. Let me do this. Oh, you know what? When this is true, oh my God, my cognitive abilities are running out. And what is this? This should not be here. This should be here inside strings. Okay. Why is it still not showing? When value is equal to index is true, then you want this style to apply. Ring purple 600. Ring purple 600. And then ring dash 4. There we go. Oh my God. That took way longer than expected. This should go back to 300 so that it maintains this thingy. There we go. Okay, fantastic. So now what we need to do is we need to get this image and display it here on our phone. So in order to do that, we're going to remove this image from here. So just remove it. And then inside our phone, we are going to destructure the image. So comma image. And then now we're going to add in this image as a background image on this div. So what you can do with the JSX is we can add in a background, and then inside the background we can say what? So inside the background we can add in a string, just like we do in CSS. We add in a URL, and then inside the URL we are going to pass in and we're going to say $, pass in the image, meaning pass in this image, and the image is going to be dependent on the template that we've clicked on. And then we can have in some other styles here, but let me just save this first to see whether it's working. It should appear here. Okay, would you look at that? So now when I click on this one, it should update the image. But you can see that the image is just a bit stretched out a bit. So let's set the background repeat to no repeat so that the image doesn't repeat. And then let's set it to the center. And then let's set it to cover so that it covers the whole screen. There we go. Would you look at that? and then you can click on this one, and then this one, and this one. Fantastic, looking amazing. Would you look at that? And then you can try to fill in everything, and you can see this is it looks nice, it looks nice. So YouTube, and then we have Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and what, GitHub, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what is now remaining is we need to preview this on a bigger screen. So we need the profile, like the profile page. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go inside the pages folder, and inside the pages folder, we're going to create a new file that is called profile. So profile.js. And the way Next.js works is that any file that is located inside the pages folder is automatically given a route. So for example, if I say RFC here, and we just have profile rendering, right? Change this to capital P. If I navigate into the /profile, then what happens is we're going to see profile, and that is what we want, right? Now let's go ahead and begin to start this out. So inside the profile, what we need to do is we want to get the, we don't want the phone, but we want a couple of components which are repeating. So we want the what? We want to get the name, we want to get the bio, we want to get the image, this one as well. So let's go ahead and do this. Inside our upload image, or our image upload, let's go ahead and get, oh wait, no, not this one. Where is our can't find it. Where is this one? Inside the phone. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this part. You know what, let's copy this article, and then now inside the profile we are going to create a section, and then inside the section we're going to paste this in. But remember that we need to destructure image data so that this actually works. So this is equal to use context, and then we're going to pass in state context. So state context. Okay, and then make sure to import this from React as well. And then we need to import this image from Cloudinary React. So remember, this image now comes from Cloudinary React. And then what we need to do is, because we want to get the name as well, so we need to get the name, we need to get the bio, and then what else? We need what? Let me save this. And then what is going to happen is, let me type in something so that we can have something on the screen. So something here on the screen, and then let's use this one because it shows everything quite well. And then what we need to do is we need to create a button so that we can click on it, so that it is going to take us into the correct page. So right away, what I'm going to do is inside my index.js, I'm just going to go above this. I'm going to create a div, and then inside this div I'm going to create a button, and then this button is going to say view profile. So view profile, and then this button is going to appear somewhere here. There we go. And then I want this one to be positioned absolute, so I'm going to say give it a class name, and I'm going to say positioned absolute. Is it absolute? No, fixed, because I want it to be scrollable. And because this by default is going to be on mobile, right? So by default on mobile, I want this one to come to the bottom right. So let me show you how we're going to do that. And I'm going to say bring it to the bottom by 5 or by 8, and bring it to the right by 8, and then scale it down to about 75, just so that it is smaller than everything else. And you can see that it comes here, so very small. And then we're going to style it out to look like this button. So let me go inside the image upload, because I just want to copy the classes on that button. So these ones, so copy, and then here I can paste them in, and we're going to have that. There we go. So this is the view profile button. Probably let me bring it to 4, and then bottom dash 4. There we go. So this is for mobile. And then on bigger screens, I want this button to come here on the what is this, the top right. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that for large screens, then bring it to, is it for, I can use it for large screens or even for medium. No, let me just say that for large screens, then bring it to the top by 4. Then for large screens, Actually, the right of 4 can even remain, by the way. What? Large top of 4. Why is it here? Why is it here instead of on top? Scale of 575. And then let me say that for large screens, bottom dash 0. Is that even going to work? Bottom dash auto. Is there a bottom dash auto? There we go. So that now it comes to the correct top, right? And then here I'm going to say that for large screens, then bring back to the original scale of 100 so that it looks like this. And then, you know what? This should be top 8. And then I'm going to say that here, I'm going to say that for large screens, bring it to the right by 8. And I've chosen 8 because we have been using a padding on the x-axis of 8 all around. So this looks okay. And then now we want that when I click on this button, it navigates me to the correct path. And how we're going to do that is we're going to use a hook that is called use router. So import use router from next router. And then here we're going to get the router. So we're going to get const router is equal to use router. And then we're going to create a function that is called handle view profile. Handle view profile. And then this const handle view profile. Sorry about that. So const handle view profile. And this is going to be an arrow function where we're going to say router dot push, and we're going to push into the / profile page. And then we're going to add an on click on this button. So on click, and we're going to say handle view profile. You can grab this and place it inside the state if you want, but this is okay as it is because we're not using it anywhere else. So let's save this. And then now let's try to fill in some things. So let me add Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and then let me upload this image that we've been using all through. So upload image, and it should appear somewhere. So there we go. And then we are using this template. And now when I click on view profile, it is going to bring us here. You can see that, wait a minute. Oh, view profile, we hadn't yet finished this page. What was I expecting? So we have only the images displaying, right? Now I want, below this article, I want to have another article with an H1 that displays the name. And then this H1, how did I style the H1? I can't remember. Let me just give it a class name and say text slate 800, font bold, and text XL. And then for large screens, let's say 2XL, I think, and then margin bottom of 4. And then below this H1, let's have a paragraph that says the bio, which we have got on the top, right? And then let's style out this, so give it a class name. And then let's say class name of what? Text slate 600 maybe. And then let's say what else? Let's say margin bottom of it. What happens? Does it reload? Okay, it comes here. Now we need, okay, this is too big. Let's move this to Excel. Excel should be fine. And then we need to grab this article, give it a class name, and say text-center, which is going to bring everything here. Okay. And then just in case that this bio is very long, lorem 50, then I don't want this to happen, right? I want to limit the bio in case you have an insanely long bio. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to say that for this image, let me grab this article and this one. So everything inside this section, give it a div with a max width of large and MX auto, which is going to limit all this so that it doesn't go all the way to the end, right? And then once we have that, now let me move this. Once we have that, then below this, we want to render the links. So let me go inside the links component, and then let me grab, I don't want this one, I want the one inside the phone. So inside the phone, let me grab these links. So copy, and we're going to need links here, okay? So we're going to paste it below this paragraph, and then let's destructure links here. So links coming from use context, and then you should be able to see the links. Okay, would you look at that? Looking nice, nice, nice. And then let's add some padding on the top of this section, or rather here, let me just add padding on the Y of 20. And then let me say padding on the X of 8 for small screens. And we're going to have that looking fantastic. But now let's add in the button to edit. So inside the index.js, let's copy this div, and paste it inside the profile. Let's paste it way above here. And this one doesn't have the handle view profile, so it's going to throw us an error. But let's just copy this, copy that, and then inside the profile, let's paste it where? Let's paste it below this. So use router, we need to import use router. So import use router from next router. And then this is going to push back to the /, and we're going to call this function handle edit profile. So notice that I've changed it here, and I've also changed it here. And then this is just going to say edit and save it. And we should be able to edit. So if you go back at edit, we're going to have all of this. So let's select that image. Let's just do something like this. And okay, you know what? Let me say this. Let's say lorem 20. And then let me copy this text so that we have some text to work with. And then let's paste it here. And then add in links. Yeah, let's just add YouTube. Let's add Facebook. And then I don't want to upload an image just yet, but let's say view profile. And the background image is not showing up. So let me figure out why. And actually, you know what? I already know the reason why. The reason why is because we need to add in the style here. Oops. And we need to add in the background just like we did. So add in as a URL and then pass in the template. And we're going to say get the image, and then we're going to pass in no repeat and center and cover. And then let's go ahead and get the image here. So get the image. And is this going to be 100 viewport heights? Is that going to work? Let's save it. Let me see what happens. So this is, it doesn't take up 100% of the screen. So therefore, let me see, how do I style this? You know what? I can go inside this section and give it a class name, and I can say height of screen, which is 100 viewport heights and tailwind. And then I need to do what? I need to add an overflow of auto just in case like you have many links, and this should now stretch out. Okay, let's go back and edit. Let's add in more links. So GitHub, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest. I realize that I've spelled it wrongly, but just for this show, let's add in some other links, just some random stuff, so that you can see how this looks. Let's say view profile, and there we go. Okay, so we have the overflow of auto working. Let me remove it to see what is going to happen. Okay, so if you don't have overflow auto, this is what happens. See that? We don't want that to happen. So we have overflow auto here, overflow auto, so that like we can just scroll on the screen, like it behaves as if it is a parallax image. So you're going to have that. Okay, now let's go back and edit. Let's go ahead and remove these links up to here, and then let's upload a profile image. So still the one that I've been working with, and then let's select this one now, and then we can upload profile image. And then once it uploads, it's going to show up here. Nice. And then we can view profile, and would you look at that? That looks stunning. It looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. Now something that I want to mention is that the way Linktree handles all of this, like the custom templates, is that they create a custom template for everything, such that if you were selecting like one of these, for example, then it also changes the colors for these like list items. It changes the colors for the text, so that, for example, if you're having this dark background, you can see that this doesn't look all that well, right? But the way Linktree handles it is, let me show you. If you check in your appearance, loading, sometimes this loads in so much. So if you check in your appearance, come on, really? Is it not here? Okay, there we go. So what is going to happen is, in the templates, would you look at this? So in the templates, look at this. For this one that has like a darker background, you can see that it also changes this one, right? You can see that even these list items, like, they're changed a bit. For this one is the one that I'm currently using, you can see that this is the theme for it and all. So that is how Linktree handles it, so that in case you're having a dark background, then you have some kind of readable text, because you want this to be readable, right? That looks okay, and that looks amazing. It looks amazing. Now what I'm going to challenge you with is, try to make these into actual links, so that when you click on them, they actually go into, like, yeah, your social whatever or something, your social link. And yeah, I think that is going to be the project. All we need to do now is just upload it, and then we can deploy it to the internet. But this looks amazing. Honestly, this looks amazing. I'm very happy how it has turned out. So let's go ahead and say this. Oh, you know what? I've just realized something. I have just realized something. Notice the title. Look, we want to change this title. So inside this profile, inside the profile, let's go ahead and right above this, let's import the head from next head. So import it from, where is it? Import this one from next head. And then here, let's change the title. And we want the title to say Linktree, or rather, let me say I recreate Linktree, and then we want to pass in the name of the person. So, oops, what am I doing? We want to pass in the name of the person. So the name that is going to be typed in the input here is what is going to be typed in, to be passed inside the document title, so that when I save this, we should be able to see I repeat Linktree and then my name. And then if we change something, if we change this into what, like John Doe or John Smith, for example, then it is going to change into John Smith. Looking nice. That looks amazing. So now let me check whether we have any issues. I don't think we have any issues. So let me close this down, and then we can close all of this down, and then let me begin to commit this to GitHub. Okay, let's say this. Let's say git add public, and then git, okay, git commit, and I'm going to say template images, and then let's say git add tailwind.config.js. Let's say git commit, and I'm going to say tailwind config file, and then git add post css.config.js, and git commit post css config file, and then git add package. Both of them, what did we install? We installed Cloudinary React, and we also installed Axios. So I'm going to say git commit, and I'm going to say -m install Axios plus Cloudinary -react, and then inside the source folder, so cd inside the source folder, and then I'm going to say git add context, and I'm going to say git commit, and I'm going to say context, and then git add styles, so git add styles, git commit, and I'm going to say what, global styles, and then inside the pages we have app.js, so cd into pages, and I'm going to say git add profile.js, and git commit, and I'm going to say profile page, then git add index.js, git commit, and I'm just going to say entry file, then git add underscore app.js, and I'm going to say git commit, and this is just going to say like add context, and then outside of this, instead of components, and I'm going to say cd back and then cd into components, and then I'm going to say get add form.js, get commit, and I'm going to say form get add image upload.js, get commit, and I'm going to say image, or rather upload profile image component, and then git add links.js and git commit. I'll say links or links component, and then git add phone.js, git commit. I'm going to say what phone model component, and then I'm going to say git add templates.js and git commit, and I'm going to say templates. That looks okay. And then let's go ahead and create the repository for this. Let's close this down, and this one because we no longer need it, and this one as well. We can just close everything down. Let's go into GitHub, and then let's create a new repository. And this new repository, we're going to say, call this Linktree, or let me say I recreate that's Linktree. Let me make this small r, I recreate Linktree, and then it's a public repository, so create repository, and then let's copy this link, and I'm going to say git remote add origin and paste in this link, then git push -u origin main, which is going to push everything to our remote repository, and then we can take a look once it finishes. But as it is pushing, then let me also open Netlify so that we can deploy this. So let me deploy this one. So import an existing project from GitHub, and this one is called Linktree. So Linktree, let it search, and then this should finish, yes, so that when we reload this, then we should be able to see our repository. Look at that, looking nice. Okay, that looks okay. Now let's deploy. We are now deploying the I recreate Linktree, this one. So let it run. This is our NextJs site. Yes, this is the correct one. So deploy site. And then let's change the site name here. What should I call this? Let me call this TsbSankara. Let me say I recreate Linktree. There we go. And then once it deploys, then we can take a look. And would you look at the time? It is 1:30 a.m. still awake making a YouTube video. So any support is greatly appreciated. So building, why is this taking so long? Okay, so it has finished. So let's take a look at this site. And would you look at that, we have this. And obviously, by the way, I forgot to mention, if you want to have colors, then all you have to do is create like a canvas for colors. So you can do that using Photoshop or Figma, and then you can just upload them as images, just as you have done for these templates. And I just realized that we have not fixed this. We have not fixed the height for these images. To fix this is very simple. All you need to do is just go inside the templates, inside your templates component, and then you just have to style this out, style out probably the article or something to have a fixed height so that this takes up the correct height. And I might do that, but I'm not going to do it in this video. And yeah, would you look at that? That looks amazing. It looks amazing. And so that is going to be the end of this video, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed creating this application. And any support that you show towards this video, and like, any comment, or any new subscription, I really do appreciate it, because as you can see, it takes a huge amount of time to create such videos. For example, right now it is now 1:33 a.m. So I really do appreciate it, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. So this is just after the fact. I've just realized that it is probably important if I do this on video. So I want to fix these images, and so I'm going to go inside my templates component, so inside here, and then I'm going to give these images a height of about 72, which is going to fix the height for all of them. But you can see that they are a bit just stretched out, and I want to increase the width to be full, so I'm going to say width dash full as well, which is going to make them full width. And then let me see if I say object cover here, what happens. Yeah, I think object cover works well, so that now at least we have like presentable templates, you know. Yeah, and that is all. That is just what I wanted to show. And of course I'm going to commit this, and it is going to reflect on the website. Hello everyone. So it is only after finishing recording the entire video that I've realized we did not create templates for blank colors such as white, black, or whatever. So what I want to do in this video, which I'm not sure whether I'm going to put it at the start or in the middle of the video or at the end, in this video I want to create some templates, and what I'm going to do is I have Figma open, Figma, and inside here I'm just going to create a frame which is going to be like what, let's just use the iPhone 14, and this is too big actually, so we're just going to reduce it anyways, so maybe right around here, and we're going to create a couple of colors. So this is going to be the first one, is going to be white, so it can remain like that, and then we're going to create another one, and we can make it maybe like this color, and then we're going to create another one, so let's just create a bunch of them. The next one can be like the orange. You can create many templates like this, but I just want to create a couple of them so that I can add them into the video. Let's have green right around, like something like that, and then let's copy all of these downwards so that we can create more of them. So this next one is going to be this color, so right around here, let's make it even darker, or there. And then this one, select another color, we're going to take it here, okay. And then this one, we're going to bring it down all the way. This doesn't look nice. Let's do maybe pink or purple. Let's do purple, so about there. Let's use that one. And then finally we can have the red one that looks like a rose. So yeah, let's have that. And then I'm going to export all of these as images, so let's export this first one. And by the way, I'm going to export them into this project folder. Remember, we created a templates folder, so we're going to export them inside here. And so let me just do that. So this one, we're going to say preview. It's going to be a blank color, so it's white. So I'm going to export it as a PNG, so export this one. And then I want to export it inside these templates, so I'm just going to call this color-1, and then export this as well, call this color-2, and this one we're going to call it color-3, and then this is going to be color-4, so color-4, this is going to be 5, so color-5, and then this is going to be 6, and then 7, and then 8. So when you're cloning the repository, you're going to find all of these templates inside, so you don't have to worry about them. And then once you have that, then we can close Figma. And then I'm already running my dev server on localhost 3000, so if I reload this, nothing's going to change. Probably shouldn't have reloaded it because now I've lost my template that I had here, but it's okay. So now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go back into our data.js file, and we're going to add in these images. So inside the source folder, inside, where is it? Where did we put it? Where did we put our data? Inside the templates. templates, or inside our context, so state.js, and we have our data here. So I want the colors to appear first, so I'm going to place them on top of this. So let's just copy this, paste it here, and then change this into color 1, and it is a PNG image. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy this down 7 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to be 2, this is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those are the 8 colors that we have. And then what I want is we can go ahead and save this, and when I save it and then I reload this, then all our colors should appear here. You can see that now we have the white template, we have this one, we have this one, and so on and so forth. And you can add more colors if you want, and then finally after the colors we have our images. So we can try to take a look at this, and you know what, let me do this. I don't want this white color to be first. I want this white color to be somewhere like in the middle, so that this is going to be the default one. So let me bring this, cut it out, and let me place it somewhere like here after the 4th one. So save it, and then reload this so that now the color is going to appear here. So white is going to be here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want that if someone just comes to this app and they just click on view profile, at least they're going to have like some kind of background color. That is the only reason why I've moved the white one here, so that it is not the default one. And then now let's try to upload all of this again. So let me choose a file here, and then let's go into random text generator, this one, so that we can get some bit of text which we can add in our bio. So copy this, paste it here. Let me add in my name. So here you can see that it looks quite nice. And then let's upload this. I forgot to upload it. Let's add in Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube for our links, and you can see that it looks quite nice. And we can view profile, and we have this, and of course it works the same way. So if you want this color, you can select it, you can view profile, and we have this, and so on and so forth. And that is how you can add different color templates. And by the way, you can also add gradients if you want. All you have to do is just create a gradient in Figma, for example, and then export it as a PNG image, and then you can reference it inside your workspace, inside your application, and you're going to have this. So this is looking quite nice, and I am very pleased with it. And yeah, so thank you for watching.